Oh, I guess, yeah, I guess she was always taking pictures. She always had a little brownie camera, or later on she had some other type of camera. But yeah, I guess she always liked trying to take pictures. I'd seen those pictures before, but I guess I really didn't think about, yeah, cameras weren't supposed to have been allowed.
Okay, can you just say your name? Your full name.
My full name?
Yeah.
Yasuo Marvin Ito.
Mm-hmm.
Full name?
Yeah.
Oh, Patricia Fasaye Ito.
Mm-hmm. What was your maiden name?
It was Ishitani. I was born here in Los Angeles, California, at the Queen of Angels Hospital. I think they were living right here on Griffith Park Boulevard in Silver Lake here.
Mm-hmm.
Grandpa, or Jichan Ishitani, came over as a schoolboy, I think I think he was real young, so I think he came with another adult. And I think he worked as like a schoolboy. He helped out in the house or something. Yeah, my grandfather.
What was his name again?
He was Shomatsu Ishitani.
He's in a couple of those photos, right?
Yeah. My mother grew up well, she was born in Garden Grove, California, so she grew up down towards San Diego. And I think my father grew up, I think, pretty much in this area. He started at Mitchell Traina Street School, and then he went to Thomas Starr King, and then he went to John Marshall. Oji-chan Ishitani was a gardener. My father uh, worked he had a landscaping business. So he kind of had a nursery right over there on, well, the house was on Griffith Park Boulevard, and then the nursery was on what is that, Hyperion? Yes, they had been sent to Santa Anita, and then I guess Grandma must have started, labor, so they got me back, or got her back over here to Queen of Angels. Well, Grandma had just told me that they were evacuating right then, and so they wanted to send everyone, including her, to camp, and then to leave me, the baby, behind. But the doctor, wouldn't permit that. So I guess whoever was her um, obstetrician must have spoken up and said that, the mother and baby couldn't be separated. Well, we were sent to Heart Mountain, Wyoming, to to an internment camp. Grandpa and Grandma, and then my parents. And I don't have much memories of that. It just little glimpses. I just kind of remember. I think my grandmother was carrying me on her back. I think we were walking maybe to the mess hall or to maybe the bathhouse or something. I could just kind of remember going in and out of the door. It was one of those doors that kind of pinched. I mean, it wasn't the doorknob. It was kind of cold, I guess, I think. I sort of remember the train ride coming back to Los Angeles. That's about all I can remember.
So my grandfather, Buhei Ito, arrived in Kauai to help found Zensuji Temple. After staying there a couple years, he then migrated down to Southern California. Tomozo Nagasawa actually arrived through the United States on his way to Mexico to work on the Esperanza gold mine near Mexico City in 1904. Just before they closed the border, he entered the United States at Eagle Pass, Texas. Also then arrived at San Gabriel Valley to do farming. My father had a produce business, the Fitzsimmons Market on Glendale Boulevard, from 1939, and they also lived in Glendale, right near where the Americana. But then when the Second World War broke out, or when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, 1941, the Japanese Americans were forced to evacuate. If you were still in California before this deadline, then you had to go to camp. And I remember there was some not panic, I guess panic. I mean, not knowing what's going to happen if you didn't get across the border before the deadline. Our whole family evacuated in 1942 to Tremont, Utah. They worked on the farms, actually harvesting sugar beet. And I remember falling behind. They had this automatic thing to get the sugar beets, and sometimes they would miss. So I would be behind, picking up some sugar beets that were left behind the automatic machine. I remember doing that. We had to evacuate. He left the farm there since he owned it, but it was still there. And then when we came back, though, he came back and somebody had taken the house. So he didn't have a house anymore, but he had the barn, I guess. And so actually their family, they lived in the barn for a while after they returned from the war.
But someone had taken the house
Yeah, somebody had come in,
and didn't give it back.
taken the house away.
Most of that generation, I don't think they talked about it.
Why?
I'm not sure. It was just, maybe it was just a painful thing in their past, and I think it wasn't until maybe my generation, or maybe even the fourth generation, that really started, doing interviews and bringing out all of these things. I think they felt it was really unjust. I don't remember them seeming angry. I don't know, the Japanese have an expression, gaman, I think that was the word. It was just something that they needed to bear, I don't remember them saying any specific, because there were people that, were very good to them about it. I think there was someone that did help watch over the house, while we were gone. I can remember being called a Jap. The feeling was there.
The thing that they never talked about it, and actually I didn't know anything about the internments and things uh, until I was in high school. They never really talked about the evacuation. All I knew was that we did it. I mean, we lived in Utah, and then we moved back. So I went to the library, and I remember trying to look up what happened in 1942. And I remember looking at these magazines, of Look magazine or Life magazine they had at the time. And one thing that I still remember is that there was a public service announcement from Shell Oil Company, 2 pages that showed on one side a smiling face that says Chinese, and on the other side a bucktooth, strange-looking person that says Japanese. So friend and foe. That's in 1956. I'm 16, 17 years old that I first come upon this racist point of view. And so that point, I mean, and since then, I don't get gas at Shell Oil Company.
Well, I think, most people were nice, so, those few incidents really didn't shape, I guess, where we want to live. Or yeah, I don't know if I was ever angry about it. I guess I've always been shy, and so I don't know, maybe if that was part of it, growing up, being considered different or whatever. But
Like when you were a teenager, did you ever think about it?
well, I'm sure we did. guess, like I said, it was just kind of just something to bear.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure how other people feel, see, but from my point of view, since I was born on July 4th, 1940, I knew I was American. I mean, there was nobody can tell me that I'm not American. So I always took, I'm American first and of Japanese ancestry. So no matter how and whatever I do is American because I was born on the 4th of July. And I think I probably transmitted that to my family, to my kids, that we're American. And I mean, you really can't take a back seat. Just that we're American and as American as anybody.
Well, in light of, what's happening recently with the Muslims and a lot of the immigrants coming in, I think maybe it needs to be brought out so that, it's kind of sort of start happening all over again with other groups.
I think look at all the adversity that's going on now and uh, all the strife and things. That's to me that's kind of normal. That's the way it is, and nothing is put out. You have to fight for everything, and so you have to overcome these adversities. And if everything was kind of a smooth, then there wouldn't be any improvement. So this time that going through even now is to me is a growth period. That all has to be turned around to make positive, to make improvements. And so that whole cycle, I guess, always to me is kind of occurs and it goes into cycles and hopefully the cycle everything is going up. Life has its ups and downs. The thing is that we have to keep on getting up and hopefully improving as we go.
Anything else?
I guess that would be my key point. Yeah, that's it.
That's it? Yeah, got it. Alright, thanks, Grandpa.
Okay.
I appreciate it. That meant a lot. I'll set it all back. Alright.
Okay.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Okay.
Got it? Yeah, alright, thanks, Grandma.
Okay, well, thank you.